Hey guys, another episode of Traveling B here. I'm back. For those of you who don't know, my name is Caleb. Yes, I have a name. But today I thought I would do a nice little video, it may take a little while, on different rates within the Navy. I know a lot of you guys have been asking me to do a video regarding different rates within the Navy. I know there's a buttload of videos out there that talk about them anyway, and I'm not trying to beat the dead horse here, so to speak, but I'd like to give you guys a little bit of a rundown, A through Y, of all the different rates that the Navy has to offer, and to kind of give you guys a little bit of insight, and you know, that way it kind of opens people's eyes, or opens some doors for folks to kind of get an idea of what they might like to do if they are interested in joining. So let's jump right into these rates, and like I said, A through Y. The first couple are aviation rates, not all of them, but I'm just going to try to go through them as quickly as possible and give you a rundown. That way I don't waste too much time. We've actually had quite a few storms here in Italy. But anyway, let me go ahead and get to it. So to start off this fantastic list, we've got the aviation boatswain's mates. Now these guys, you know, they're the lifeblood of the flight deck, it seems like, on the carriers. And first you got ABHs, which are handlers. They handle all the equipment, gear, and aircraft themselves. Then you've got the ABFs, who handle fuel systems and fueling of the aircraft. You see these guys wearing the purple vests and stuff on the flight decks. A lot of people call them grapes. The last one is the ABEs, which are aviation and boatswain's mates, electronics or electrical. I'm not part of the aviation community, guys. I'm sorry. But from what I do know is that they handle the arresting gear wires and the traps to catch all the aircraft, such as the F-18s, E-2s, C-2s, stuff like that. And these guys, I think they wear green vests, if I'm not mistaken. But hats off to these guys, because you have aircraft landing, you know, every minute it seems like. They've only got 30 seconds to replace these wires. And it's just crazy. These guys are so proficient and quick at their job. So definitely a hats off to them. Next, we finally got the aviation machinist mates, or ADs, and these guys basically take care of the engines for the aircraft and make sure everything runs smoothly and efficiently, because the last thing we want is an aircraft such as a helo or fixed wing, anything like that, to go down. So these guys definitely keep the aircraft moving and operating well. Next, we've got ASs, aviation support equipment technicians. These guys maintain and repair aviation support equipment. I don't exactly know what all that entails. Like I said, I'm not part of the aviation community, so I apologize. You have to forgive me. Next, we've got the air traffic controllers. These guys are ACs, if you will. And they can be stationed here, like at the airbase I'm at, in the tower, or on the carriers. And they basically just make sure that all flight operations run smoothly. You know, takeoff, landing, touch and go, stuff like that. Next, we've got the AEROGRAPHER'S mate, Navy weatherman. Woo! I do know that their ACE school, however, where you go to training, is in Biloxi, Mississippi at Keesler Air Force Base. All I know is that they're a Navy weatherman. That's all that's all I can tell you on that one. Next, you've got the aviational structural mechanics, so the AMs. The only AM I know is Mr. JT Suits. Awesome dude. You guys should go subscribing and like his videos. Give him a shout out and comment on his stuff. He's got like a couple 100,000 followers, it seems like. Dude's awesome. I subscribe myself. Love his content, love his videos. And I do know he was an AM with HSM 77 on the Lincoln. And they basically take care of the structure, landing gear, and the different hydraulic systems on the aircraft. Next, we got the old aviation ordnanceman. These guys are a trip. I know a few of them. They wear red jackets or the red vests, and as the saying goes, if you ain't ordnance, you ain't shit. They handle all the ordnance and munitions for the aircraft, such as, you know, sidewinders, JDAMs, different GBUs, even machine gun ammunition, stuff like that. They just fit all the aircraft up to par with all these munitions. Next, we've got the aviation electrician, which is an AE, and we also got the aviation electronics technician, AT. The reason I'm saying them both at the same time is because they basically take care of electrical or electronic equipment. Next, you got the AIRCREW survival equipmentman. they're basically their abbreviation is PR, which is weird because their actual initial rating used to be parachute rigger, which is PR, but for some reason the name changed to aircrew survival equipment. And I don't. Next, you've got the aviation maintenance administrationman, AZs. So these guys basically they make plans, schedules. You know, they plan the aircraft's maintenance workload. They're essentially, I guess they would be the yeoman, so to speak, or, you know, pencil pushers, if you will, of the squadrons. Anyway, they maintain, they work in the paraloft, from what I know, at least they do here. And they maintain everything, the safety that keeps the crew and the pilot of the aircraft safe. Anything from, like, personal flotation devices to flares to strobes to, like, glow sticks to just all kinds of stuff to keep the pilot and the crew safe. So next, you got one of the oldest rates in the Navy and the backbone of the ship, and that's the old BM, boatswain's mate. These guys, they do everything. They they chip paint. They chip paint. They paint. These guys just take care of everything. Mooring lines, casting the ship off, you name it. These guys run that ship. Next one. Next, you got my rate. You have the BU. You got the builder. Basically, we're gun-toting construction workers. Oh, yeah. Builders are basically carpenters, masons. We do roofing, concrete, we paint, we lay bricks, we can do cabinets, doors. We basically bring the building or a structure from the ground up. The construction electrician. So these guys do interior wiring. They operate, you know, power production facilities, work on transformers, you know, just all kinds of stuff. These guys, and I know a lot of them as well. And these guys, if you're into electrical stuff, but you actually want to work as in a construction field, this is the way to go. These guys seem pretty smart. Just all kinds of electrical stuff. These guys are on top of it. But we're going to flow into another CV rate with the CM, which is the construction mechanic, or alpha company, as they call them. These alpha dogs, they work on all the CEAS, which is civil engineering support equipment. And they repair and maintain just everything from small little skid steers all the way up to graders, dozers, front end loaders, backhoes, dump trucks. You know, if you name it, and it's a construction piece of equipment, these boys are dirty and covered in all kinds of stuff and just working their butts off to keep it maintained. So hats off to the CMs. Next, we've got the culinary specialist. If you guys like to cook, then hey, this is the way to go. Plus, their advancement is pretty good from what I've heard. They operate and maintain, you know, the dining facilities. And these guys, you know, I know a few of them. They work at the galley. And some people seem to enjoy their, enjoy cooking. Some people don't. It's not for everybody, I'm sure. But if you're interested in that, then CS is the way to go. Next, we have okay, this is a big breakdown. So I'm just going to give you the gist of it, not give you the breakdowns, which is the CRYPTOLOGIC technician. Here's why I'm not going to give you the breakdown. There's a lot of CT rates. There's a CTI, CTR, CTN, CTA, CTE maybe. I don't know. There's so many CT rates. Basically, they just perform like analysis and reports, and they collect different things on communication signals. It's way over my head. There's a lot of different breakdowns of the CT rate itself. And like I said, it's not for me, but if you're into technological stuff and ciphering and deciphering things, that's the way to go. Next, you've got the damage controlman, DCs. Woo! I know a couple of those. They basically work with the firefighting and fire prevention, ship stability. They do CBR. These guys basically keep the ship together. I know a few of them, and they seem to enjoy their jobs, especially, you know, if there's flooding on the ship or there needs to be shoring or a pipe clamped or something like that, these guys take care of it. I mean, they're the lifeblood of keeping the ship itself afloat, if you will. Next one is the EM, electrician's mate. They basically take care of all the electrical power generation systems. lighting systems, electrical equipment, electrical appliances on the ship. I know a few of them, and they seem to enjoy their jobs. But like I said, if you're into electrical stuff upon the ship, that might be the way to go for you. For me, not necessarily, but they seem to have a pretty good time. Another CB rate, woo, is the engineering aid, or EA, and they basically develop construction plans, plotting for site plans. They do surveys. They do they do all kinds of stuff when it comes to getting a site plan, plot plan, all kinds of different structural plans, or not just building plans, but the foundation, or even the site plan, for example, of where a building is going to go, or a facility needs to go. They can get you blueprints for the whole interior of a building. So these guys really know their way around surveying. The next we have is EN, which is the engineman, and these guys maintain and repair like internal combustion engines. I've also heard of them work on outboard, inboard motors, diesel engines, stuff like that. Had a couple of friends that were ENs, and they work down the bowels of the ship, if you will, but they keep everything mechanically down there, dealing with the shaft and the engine, the propulsion system, from what I know, going pretty well. Next, we've got another CB rate, the old EOs, the old equipment operators. And they operate all the heavy machinery like the ones I listed earlier that the CMs fix. So think about that. EOs break it, the CMs fix it. I'm going to leave it at that. All right, next you've got EOD, explosive disposal. I can't speak today. Explosive ordnance disposal. EOD. These guys are considered special forces in a way. They basically locate and identify hazards such as IEDs, sea mines, all kinds of ordnance that can really put people in harm's way. And they go out there and take care of it and dispose of it. These guys are pretty hardcore, so woo! Next, you've got the GSs. So you've got a GSE and GSM. That's gas turbine mechanical and gas turbine mechanic electrical. Basically, they operate and repair, perform organizational and intermediate maintenance on like gas turbines. So on cruisers and destroyers, DDGs, CGs. And they work on the propulsion systems and the machinery. So if I'm correct, they work very closely with machinist mates and enginemen. So pretty cool if you're into that stuff. I consider doing the mechanical side of GS myself. Next, you've got another old rated Navy one that I would like to have done myself, maybe can do one day, is the gunner's mate, GM. These guys, if you're into weapons, that's the way to go. These guys take care of everything from guided missile launchers to rocket launchers to gun mounts to small arms, anything from as small as the Beretta handgun all the way up to the 5-inch guns to the Harpoon anti-ship missiles, Sea Sparrow anti-aircraft missiles, such as like the like the rolling airframe ASROC, the Sea Whiz, or the Phalanx, if you want to call it that. You name it. If it's a weapon system, these bad boys take care of it. They service it. They also take care of and manage the armory as well. So if they do a ship shoot, or if you guys go to boot camp and you go to live fire, or even the simulated one next door, a lot of the GMs and AOs and stuff like that and FCs will work there. And that's those guys that like to have a ball. I'm kind of jealous of me. Next, you got the corpsman, HM. And basically, these guys are your hospital personnel, doctors, nurses. They can be attached to the Marines. They go Fleet Marine Force, FMF. And they can be attached to the SEABEES, like us. They can be attached to Special Forces. The corpsman can go just about anywhere. And these guys can patch you up if you're in need of it, or they can give you a simple dental exam if you go to the clinic. Next, we've got the hull technicians, or HTs. And these guys basically keep up all the structures and surfaces of the ship in good condition. They also work with the damage controlman, if I'm not mistaken, in maintaining some of the plumbing and other things aboard the ship, such as the toilets, sinks, showers, you name it. These guys are the one to call if there's a problem, or as they like to call them, the old turd chasers. No offense. Next, you've got the IT, which is the Information Systems Technician. I know a bunch of these guys, and basically they work on communication operations, dealing with relays, satellites. They work at SATCOM, stuff like that. These guys, they're an interesting bunch. They definitely, if you like working with satellites and radars and stuff like that and different communications electrically for information, that's the way to go. Like I said, I know a few of them, and they seem to enjoy it, but it's definitely a acquired skill, and there's a lot of skills that you can use on the outside as well. Next, you've got the IS, the Intelligence Specialist. Ooh. These guys basically analyze intelligence data. Don't ask me what they do, because I don't know, because it's secret squirrel stuff. I think they look for folks who can speak another language, if I'm not mistaken. I think being a linguist kind of helps you decipher different encryptions and stuff like that. So it's pretty neat. It takes a skilled person to do that job, so to speak. Next, we've got the ICs. So the Interior Communications Electricians. I had a teacher in school, one of my favorites, who actually did this. These guys direct and coordinate the installation and maintenance and repair of interior communications on ships and at shore facilities, such as phones and other things like that. Like the 1MC, for example. These guys, I'm sure, work very closely with the electricians' mates to get everything working around the ship so that communication is well. Next, you've got the legalmen, LNs. These guys basically, if you guys aren't familiar with the Judge Advocate Generals, JAG, these guys work for them. They're basically, they do paralegal duties, stuff like that. Like I said, they work for the lawyers, which are JAGs. So if you're into law, that might be the way to go for you. I don't know. Next, we've got the LS, or Logistics Specialist. This rate used to be AK. My grandfather was one. Then it became SK, Storekeeper, and now it's LS, so Logistics Specialist. These guys, they do all kinds of stuff. These guys take in supplies. They work at DLA. You can go to subs. You can go to ships, squadrons, Marines, Bs, you name it. LSs go everywhere. And they take into accountability, like I said, anything that deals with inventory for parts, for equipment, for supplies. I mean, these are the guys who handle everything for that. Next, we've got the old machinist mate, like my grandfather, another one. They basically operate, maintain, repair the ship's propulsions. Auxiliary equipment, stuff like that. Like I said, they work very closely with the engineman and the gas turbine mechanics, the GSMs. And these guys, the snipes, as they call them, they work down the hole and they don't see much sunlight and it's hot. But they keep the ship going. If it wasn't for them, those bad boys wouldn't be going anywhere. There's also MMA, Machinist Mate Auxiliary, and MMW, Machinist Mate Weapons, which replaced torpedomen, on subs. And I know a few of those, so I wouldn't mind doing that myself. Next, we've got MR, the Machinery Repairman. And basically, these guys are, they're skilled at machine tool operations. Anything needs to be milled or replaced or stuff like that, you bring it to the machine shop and these guys will hook you up. Next, we've got the Mass Communications Specialists, the old MCs. These guys are your DJs, woo, your disc jockeys. They're basically in charge of public affairs and information. There were several rates in the past, like a lithographer's mate, photographer's mate. Both of those rates got phased into this. MCs, they do everything. They're like the journalists tied into a DJ, tied into a photographer, all rolled into one. These guys are awesome. If you're good at communication and talking with others, that's the way to go. I kind of wish I could have done that. But definitely a rate worthy of someone who enjoys communication, journalism, stuff like that. That's the way to go. Next, you want to be a Navy police officer? You want to stand at the gate for 12 hours? You've got the MAs, which are the Master at Arms. These guys have been around for quite a while, and they're Navy police. Most of the other branches you're familiar are called MPs, military police. This is our version for the Navy. A little branch off from that would be a canine handler. If you like dogs and you happen to get accepted, then kudos to you for being a dog handler. That's really cool. Next, you've got a rate that I was always interested in and wish I could have done, which is mineman, MN. These guys detect and neutralize sea mines. You name it, they cut it, they string it, and they blow it up. And that's pretty cool. Minemen, unfortunately, from what I've been told, I've heard mixed things. I've heard A, it was a dying rate. B, I heard it was a rate that was going nowhere. I don't know what the deal with that is, but if you want to be on a small ship, like a minesweeper. Next, we've got the MTs, the missile technicians. Woo! I'll put it to you like this. If you're interested in being on an Ohio-class ballistic nuclear missile submarine, a boomer, that's the way to go. These guys work on the systems and launching capabilities of all the Tomahawks and the Trident 2 Block 5 missiles, ICBMs. If you're into launching missiles and working on the systems, like I said, that's the way to go. Next, you've got the MU, Navy Musician. Here's the thing with musician. Musician, you have to try out for. The good thing is, as soon as you graduate your A school, you're promoted to automatic. I can't remember if it was E4 or E6. It's just like it's an automatic promotion just because you're playing for. I guess you're playing for the Navy band, essentially. I couldn't tell you. I don't know. I knew a few MUs, but if you're really skilled at chorus or playing an instrument, that may be the way to go for you. Next, we have the ND, the Navy Diver. Yes! Basically, they perform underwater salvage and repair and maintenance. They can do submarine rescue, support special warfare, EOD, using a variety of different diving equipment. There's a long history with Navy diving, and takes a skilled and strong individual to want to do this job, but my hat's off to anybody that wants to do it. And it's considered a special force, if you will, I guess. I don't know. They're not a Navy diver is not a fighting man. He is a salvage expert. Next, we've got the OS, operational specialist. So these guys basically operate radar, the navigation, and comm systems in the CIC, the Combat Information Center on the ship's bridge. So anything operational is going down, these guys are taking care of it. Some of their stuff they do, I think, is kind of secret from what I've been told. I don't know. But OSs are kind of, they do a variety of things, like I said, when it comes to the actual information of combat systems with a mission being let out upon a ship or sub or a shore facility like here. Next, we got the personnel specialists, the PSs. If you like looking at other people's pay, I'm kidding. Well, sort of. They basically maintain the financial and service records for the military. So PSs, you get to work at PSD. Kind of cool. I don't know. Doesn't interest me. But if you're into maybe doing like financial stuff or just taking accountability for people's records, then that's the way to go for you. PS, personnel specialist. Here's another old rate in the Navy. We got the QMs, the quartermasters. These guys, they basically visually and electronically guide the ship. These guys navigate the ship using charts and plots. They even still use some of the old tradition ways to navigate by using the sextant or different things to navigate using the stars and the horizon and the sun's position if all the electrical systems fail. So if you're into maps and you think that navigation and stuff is cool, QM, quartermaster, is the way to go. My recruiter was one. He was a QM1. Now he's a chief. Woo! And he seemed to enjoy it. So if you're into that, by all means. Next, we've got the RPs. Yeah, we got the religious program specialist. You want to help the chaplain out? Here you go. RPs are cool because A, their advancement's great. B, they can go anywhere the chaplain goes. Or, well, you can go to any command just about. If you feel like you want to spread the gospel, this is the way to go. Next, we've got the SHs, the ship's servicemen. You like cutting hair and doing laundry? Do you like selling people candy bars? Do you like restocking vending machines? This is the way to go. They basically deal with, you know, everything that retail is required on the ship. So like I said, selling stuff at the exchange or the ship store, if you will. These guys are the ones. So if you're going to the vending machine and there's monsters in there every day, you thank the SHs. Yeah. Next we got the sonar technicians. STs. There's actually two abbreviations. There's STG, which is for ships, surface. STS, which is on the subs. If you're a sonar technician on the sub, you're the eyes and the ears of the boat. Anyway, they basically are responsible for operating the sonar systems and underwater fire control systems. Next, we got SBs, Special Warfare Boat Operators, or SWCC, SWCC. Yeah. You ever see Act of Valor or something like that? Guys come in, face painted up, rocking the miniguns on the fast boat. These are your guys, boat team operators. They're special forces, and these guys definitely, if you guys have one of these or know one of these, hats off to you, because these guys are awesome. They do all kinds of secret squirrel stuff. And to follow up with that, you got SO, the old SEALs, Special Warfare Operators, team guys. Oh yeah. Yeah, sea, air, and land, SEALs, Special Operators. Next, you've got the Steelworker, another CB rate. Oh. You like to weld, you like to work with rebar, wire, anything metal, steel, that's the way to go. They basically rig and operate the special equipment, welders, gas welding, TIG welding, MIG welding, or stick, arc, whatever. And these guys, like I said, they work side by side with us, which are builders, and anything structural or anything needs to be welded, these guys are on top of it. Next, you've got the utilitiesmen, the UTs. The UTs, basically, they work with plumbing, HVAC, so heating, air, compressed air, fuel storage, and distribution systems. They're another CB rate. They're basically the land versions of hull technicians, if you will, land turd chasers. And I know quite a bit of UTs, and like I said, they work with the systems, you know, anything heating and air, anything plumbing. These are your guys. Last but not least, we've got the YNs, we got the YEOMANs. Yes, you got regular YNs, you got YNS for subs. These guys do secretarial, administrative, clerical jobs. If you like typing up reports, if you like writing programs for, you know, someone's, I don't know, somebody making rank or retiring or wherever, these are the guys. But these guys work for the big men and women, the old upstairs people. They even work for admirals and captains and commanders, lieutenants. And, you know, it seems like the yeomen are always the guys to go to or girls to go to who get all the paperwork done. So there's a few other things on here that I'll mention. Excuse me. You basically got, I forgot to mention, you've got the nuclear program. If you guys are into, like, working with nuclear reactors and propulsion systems, this is a program you can go into. You got to score pretty high on your ASVAB, though. But these guys basically, like I said, they work with nuclear stuff. I don't know too much about it because it's way over my head. But if you're pretty particle, and you're interested in the nuclear field, you can definitely reap the benefits if you make it when it comes to pay, especially re-enlisting. But that's all I've got for you guys today. I know it's been kind of a boring video. It seems it's still raining outside. Well, I think it's still raining. I can't tell. Looks like it. Anyway, that's all I've got for you guys today. And as always, like I said, I hope to make the videos better. Comment, subscribe, tell me what you think, tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like. And yeah, that's all I've really got for you guys today. Love you guys that definitely respond and subscribe. And I hope this video was kind of educational. I'm sorry, I know I lack on some details sometimes, but like I said, there's certain rates or certain communities I don't know a whole lot about. So like I said, you have to take it upon yourselves to figure it out, or maybe check out some other videos or something. I do apologize. I'm just trying to give you a little taste of what the Navy has to offer. So as always, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking it. Thank you for responding. For my friends and family and people back home in the old Carolina, love you. I know you can't really see it on my arm. In the South Carolina as well, prayers and thoughts sent back to everybody. Like I said, both states, you know, because that's family. And I know we've been through a tough time, but we're going to come out on top no matter what. We always do. Hurricanes are nothing new to us. So just stay strong. You know, Carolina's strong. So anyway, that's all I've got for you guys. So thank you so much. Love you, mean it. All right. Signing off. That's all I've got for you guys. And just go Navy and have a blessed day, blessed week, and make the best of it. Be responsible, be smart. Love you guys, mean it.